Let's move on now to the Eastern Cape, where the remains of former liberation struggle icon Vuyisile Mini will be reburied at his home village of Mhlahlane in Tsomo in the Eastern Cape this morning. Mini was executed on the 6th of November 1964 at the Pretoria Central Prison. He was arrested the year before, allegedly for treason. Now, his remains were exhumed in Port Elizabeth last week. President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a special Provincial official funeral category 1 for the reburial of the struggle stalwart. Let's cross live now to our reporter Nkululeko Nyembezi in Mhlahlane in the Eastern Cape for the latest developments there. Nkululeko, good morning. So a very somber day, but also a very important day, especially looking at some justice for those who were executed during the apartheid years. So please tell us what's happening and what we can expect this morning.
Thank you very much, Sakina. Of course, we are coming live from Mhlahlane village in Tsomo. This is where Utata Vuyisile Mini was born in 1920, and then at his tender age he moved to Port Elizabeth, where he started his mission operating underground as a political activist. But he joined a lot of activities in Port Elizabeth, because you remember that around those years he joined strikes, protests like rent increase, as well as many other activities in Port Elizabeth up until 1952, where he played a crucial role in the defiance campaign in 1952. That is where he was arrested alongside with Nelson Mandela and other politicians around that time. But now his remains will be buried here in his home village in Tsomo. To get more information, we are now joined by Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Mr. Renald Lamula, who is now with me. Mr. Lamula, for sure, this is a historic moment for the people of South Africa and for the people of this village.
Yes, it is historic in all contexts, because in this province we have now exhumed and buried a lot of struggle heroes, and Obaba Mini is one of the icons that we are bringing now finally home again. Reburial, as you are aware, he was buried in Port Elizabeth after he was exhumed from our gallows in Pretoria, and now the family wants him here, and this is very historic that he's finally brought to his home village where he was born.
We understand that Vuyisile Mini has been described as a person who was vibrant, and also he wasn't a sellout, if I put that way, because when you look at his history and his activities, he's described as a person who was not a sellout. What can you say, maybe, how can you describe him?
Yeah, he was unshaken in the face of death at all times. Even when they were facing the gallows or the death sentence, he will be the one who motivates the other prisoners through song, and ensure that even the younger ones were not shaken. And even in Port Elizabeth, his footprints are to this date still there. As you move around PE, you can feel his spirit in terms of the people of the area, in terms of his courage, determination. His fearlessness was unmatched at the time, because even those of his generation, as you have said, like Mandela and others, could also draw some kind of inspiration from him, although he was also not at the level of leadership with them, but he could also inspire them to continue their strength, to continue the fight, and to soldier on until his death. He was prepared to die and sacrifice his life for the freedom of this country. And these are the kind of heroes our country will be forever indebted to.
We know that there are many ex-combatants who were buried somewhere in Africa. Maybe is there any program to repatriate their remains, maybe back home?
Yeah, as you are aware, the gallows, we had about 180 political prisoners. This is an exhumation program where we have already exhumed about 68. We are remaining with 15 for this program in particular, and 9 of them are here in the Eastern Cape. The program of outside the country is also still continuing through our program with the TRC program, including with the National Prosecuting Authority. So we are doing our best to make sure that the families, the comrades and the community find closure through this process, as you can see around the community here and the people of the Eastern Cape. We hope that it's something that at least bring closure, and we continue to do it for various families.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lamula. There you have it. This is Mr. Lamula, Minister for Justice and Correctional Services in the country, giving us a brief explanation about Mr. Mini, because you will understand that as he was buried in Port Elizabeth, he wasn't supposed to be buried there, but the family wanted him to be buried in his own village alongside with his ancestral parents here at Mhlahlane village. Back to studio.